November 21st, 2004, we received the DS. But in my case, I have the DS Lite, which released June 11th, 2006. And yeah, man, the DS. This is one of those systems where it's like, do I even need to talk about it? We all know why the DS is amazing. One of the first games that came out for it, a launch game for this title, was Super Mario 64 DS, a literal remake of an N64 game. And let me just say, back in the day, having a literal console game on the go, a remake at that, with more content of a console game on the go, and Super Mario 64 was one of my favorite games growing up. So much nostalgia for that game. So being able to take it on the go with all these new characters and, new stars to go for and all that, being able to play as Wario, Luigi, and Yoshi, especially after the whole L is real stuff back in the day, which that was one of those things where it's like you hear about it now, it's like one of those legendary things in gaming, but you truly had to be there for the whole L is real hype or that whole debacle. But the DS, the library of Mario Kart DS, one of the best Mario Karts of all time, in my opinion. One of my favorites for sure, right up there. I'd say Mario Kart 8 is probably my overall favorite, but Mario Kart DS is definitely right behind it. New Super Mario Bros. DS, which, say what you will about the New Super Mario Bros. Series. Personally, I've always loved every game in that series. It could still be going to this day, and I'd still love it. I love those games, probably because, I grew up with New Super Mario Bros. DS. All the Lego games that were on here, because it was cool, because they weren't necessarily the console versions of the Lego games, but they were like just completely new versions of the Lego games. So even if you played the Lego games before, like Lego Batman, if you played it on the DS, it's a completely different game. And then you had a lot of like GBA type games, or not necessarily ports, but like different versions of them, like Star Wars Episode 3. It was basically the same game on here as it was on the GBA, except now you had access to like a second screen, some extra things there. And then you had like Call of Duty games on the DS, which is, I actually had all of them back in the day. They released COD 4, World of War, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, and that was it. We never got to see Black Ops 2, but I mean, at that point, the 3DS was out, so I mean, hey man, we could have got like Black Ops 2 on the 3DS, why not? It was pretty cool because even though World of War didn't have it, Black Ops had it, the Zombies mode on DS, which was awesome, and they had like online multiplayer and everything. It has been since shut down, but due to like the modding community, they have brought some of those servers back, and that goes for like a lot of DS games, so there is hope. There is ways to play those DS games still online to this day, which is awesome. And yeah, there's so many amazing games that I loved on here. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, which was nothing like the console version. It was a 2D Metroidvania, but I absolutely love that game. One of my favorite games of all time here on the DS. Also, I love the console version too. But the DS version is just, it's so unique. I mean, if I had to choose between the console version and the DS version, I don't think I could. Like, they're both just completely different games that are amazing in their own rights. And then Spider-Man Web of Shadows, which was essentially the same thing. It was nothing like the 3D counterpart on the consoles, like, on Xbox 360 and PS3. It was like a 2D Metroidvania on here, which is funny because that game had three versions. You had the Xbox 360, PS3, Wii, and PC version. Then you had the DS version. Then you had the PSP and PS2 version, which was also a 2D game, but it wasn't a Metroidvania game like the DS version. It was more of like a 2D beat 'em up on the PS2 and PSP. And you had other games that were so creative, like Scribblenauts, for example. Just so many amazing games. Oh, Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars. Being able to sell drugs and just commit so many crimes on the go on a Nintendo handheld, that was something else. I mean, sure, I know we had GTAs on the Game Boys and stuff like that, but I don't know, man. Chinatown Wars, it was just like a whole other level. All in all, words cannot describe my love and appreciation for the DS, and this is the same case that I've had since like 2010, 2011, something like that. It still holds up to this day. Sure, you can see some of the rubber is kind of come off over time, or whatever you want to call it. But I absolutely love the DS. It will always be one of my favorite handhelds, and I still play it like all the time to this day. And then there was the re-releases of the DS, which we're not really going to talk about, but they did, the DSi, the DSi XL, which unfortunately they removed the GBA slot, which means you couldn't really play like, like Rock Band or whatever on the DS anymore. Like, come on, dude, you needed that GBA slot. So you plug in the thing, you sit there playing the guitar, but DSi took it away. So not only could you not play GBA games, but you can't play Rock Band anymore. Like, why?